Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So as you know, I've been uploading videos of me renovating or building lots for my save file. I'm allowing my members to put Sims onto the gallery for this as well. So if you're a member of either my my YouTube channel, or if you're a subscriber on my Twitch channel, you are free to go ahead and do that. So I am going to be allowing my subscribers on both platforms to upload Sims to the gallery, and then I will place them into the world for you. So I just wanted to kind of go over some of the first steps that I do when setting up like a mega hood or an uber hood for The Sims 4, for if any of you guys are wondering. So this is the households. For one, I put all of the EA townies that are placed in the world into my households here. As you can see, all of them are here. There is a ton, so please bear down when you're ready to do this. Have some time. And then these households are the currently not in world households that come shipped with the game. Of course, I leave them. I'm gonna try on this save file to not allow any other Sims to be generated, because I think that it would be better if I kept it to a specific minimum. So I'm gonna get that mod that prevents new households from being made. I do turn off all of my configurations for neighborhood stories, of course, because I think that is important for me and my game style. I like to play this like it's The Sims 2 kind of, and go from there. In my game options, all of this is, based off of your computer, of course, and audio and music. The gameplay, so I do autonomy on full. Sometimes I'll have this checked if I feel like it. Sometimes I leave it unchecked. For this kind of a play style, I'll probably do it as checked. Then I do allow all 4 of these to be checked, because I like to obviously play with wants and fears. The traditional social menu is important to me because it's more closer to like what I'm used to. Though I wonder if I unchecked this, if I would have an easier time finding socials now that they've changed everything around. The build mode items grant gameplay effects. I like my game to be a little bit hard and a little bit different, so I like to use this, and also lifestyles. The auto played age is for only active households. I do uncheck the unplayed households. Now I could leave it checked, but then they would age up faster than my own Sims, and I don't want that. I do play with a long lifespan, of course. I might change this for this series. I might play with normal. I'm not really 125% sure how I want to do this quite yet. The hide challenge UI, I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to check that. I allow there to be an unlimited amount of Sims, because I personally know my computer can handle it. It's all, again, up to your computer if it can handle it, and if not, then this might be a hard kind of thing to do. You might have to just pick a few worlds instead of all of the worlds like I've done. And then there's animal aging, and I, of course, allow animal aging. So yes, I will submit that. Now, I like to run my lunar cycle length about 16 days. I don't like a permanent phase of the moon, and I don't want to disable the lunar effects. I do like my rainstorms and thunderstorms and my snow and blizzards. I also like the effects of the temperatures on the Sims. 28 day season cycles is exactly what I'm looking for, and I also enable the thunderstorms and the icy conditions. Under packs, I don't opt out of my Sims being in fame. I don't allow NPC voting, because I just think they vote for the most ridiculous things. This way I can pick exactly what I want for the voting whenever it comes available. The enable eco footprint, I do leave enabled, and I also leave the dust enabled. I have never limited werewolves to Moonwood Mills, but I've thought about it, because sometimes I just think that them running around as werewolves in the middle of daylight is weird. So I don't know. I do enable acne and relationship autonomy. It just means that the NPC's Sims will develop relationships with other Sims autonomously. I kind of wonder if I would rather this unchecked, but I'm not quite sure. So I'll leave it checked for right now. Growing together, the self-discovery is great. The career layoffs I enjoy. Enable the rental unit events, and to hide the units by default is all checked. Camera settings, I do like the Sims 3 version. That's just my own personal thing. And edge scrolling, I'll probably uncheck it because I don't really use it. Then this is nothing I really worry about, and this is nothing I really worry about. I just disable the enable discovery quests thing. And this is all like the rest of the stuff. So yeah, that's really it. That's really all I do there. And then what I do is I go through, and you need to do this for all of the Sims that you're planning to play. Before you hit the play button, and I literally mean the second your lot's load, you need to pause your game as soon as possible. But if you don't want your household, especially if you play with MC Command Center, to kind of start to take over in like within the first couple of days of you playing, you kind of need to go into the lot and pause it as soon as possible and lock in whatever you want to lock in, or do whatever you want to do when you get in there. Whether it be, you want to go in and lock in whims or wishes or whatever you want to call them. Or you want to just go in and take note of aspirations and life stages that they're in or whatever, and fill out your spreadsheet. Whatever you want to go in and do, you need to load each and every household that you plan to play before you start playing. So like, I need to load all 75 households so they have the dark green plumb bob instead of this light green one, because this light green one is not considered to be played. Even though they're in my households, they are not considered to be played. So when I press play, MC Command Center is going to take over, and people from my households are going to start just matching up with other people in the world. They're going to start moving out of their homes. They're going to start getting different like relationships going. They're going to have babies. They're going to get married. All of those things. Now, if that's how you want it, then surely leave it the way it is. If you want it to be like micromanaged by you, then you need to go in and make sure that you have loaded each and every household. So I'm going to show you on the Spencer Kim Lewis household what exactly I mean when I say pause immediately. So we're going to go in here to the Spencer Kim Lewis household. And of course, we all know the Spencer Kim Lewis household. They've been here since, the get-go of The Sims 4. So it's not like they're anything new. But if you've never played physically as them, things could be different than what you expect. So I go in here, I load into the family, and this shouldn't take long because this is literally a brand new save. I don't think I've ever loaded a lot in this save, so this is with people on it. So this is actually interesting. So see how it instantly wants to play, and I instantly pause. So I like to go in on my Sims, and the first thing I do is I set up my bills. So it always pops up every single time I load a lot that I need to, I've loaded a new household and they don't have their bills set up, blah, blah, blah. So I look at how much money they have. So on this version of my Mega Hood or Uber Hood or whatever you want to call it for your playthrough, my Sims, if they have less than 10,000, so I go to home services. If they have less than 10,000, they get this one, the basic. If they have less than 20,000, they'll get the full. And if they have less than 30,000, or I guess above 20,000 really, they will get the premium. So that's what I will start them out with. So this family has 55,500. So they, of course, are going to get the premium. Now, if you have this mod, then you know when you back out of this, it's going to press play. So you need to pause again immediately. So click that, and there, you can see their lights come on. So when you back out of here, it is going to have it played. So you need to pause again immediately. Now I've lost no time. I've spent no time playing. I have not clicked play to do anything. I have physically kept them at 8:04 since I loaded into the lot. Now, the second thing I go ahead and do is I look at kind of this. So right now I have a mod in that only allows specific Sims to be able to see ghosts. So children and younger, of course, can see ghosts. And then other people do have the ability to see ghosts, but only some of them. So these two, I think it said, didn't have the ability, but you can see that Olivia can see the ghosts. Alice, Eric, none of them can see ghosts except for Olivia. So if a ghost was to walk onto this lot, the only person that I would be able to see the ghost with is Olivia, because she's a child. And in real life, if you believe in ghosts, that is, it is known that children and younger or pets can see ghosts with the naked eye, obviously, when adults cannot. And I don't know why that is or whatever. It is up to your belief, as of course, as well. But that's that. So I know that Olivia will be able to see any ghosts that we see. If we're on a lot, a community lot, and I'm clicked on, say, Eric here, and there's a ghost walking literally right here next to him, he will not see it. It'll be invisible to him. He will absolutely not see it, but he will get scared by the ghosts. If they do something like possess an object and it starts floating, he will freak out. So it just gives that little bit of extra element to the Sims that, you know, your Sims houses could literally be haunted and your Sims could be freaked out by it. Okay, so the second thing I do is I start at the top of my Sims so that I make sure I get everybody done all at the same time. I go through and I look at what they want to do. So right now she wants to gain a friendly relationship with a family member. That sounds like a good idea to me, so I will lock it in. She wants to play hopscotch. I could see her as a grandmother wanting to play hopscotch with her granddaughter. I think that's a good one. I'll lock it in. She also wants to be friendly with Dennis. Now this one, you can't lock this one in for some reason. I don't really understand why. I think it's kind of silly, but I can see her wanting to be friendly with Dennis as well. So she also has the big happy family and everything is looking good. She does not have a job because she's an elder, of course. I do also look at age span. I want to make sure that they're not going to pass away instantly. I have had that happen a couple of times, and I kind of just go through and look at what they're getting. So the next thing that I like to do for my Sims, after going through each and every Sim, obviously individually, or you could do one whole Sim and just do everything for that one Sim. I like to, on the first ever Sim that I click on, I like to let my attractiveness build. And I also like to go in here on each and every Sim, and I like to put thoughts on being pregnant. Now, obviously, she's an elder, so I don't need to do it for her, but let's go ahead and look at the rest of the Sims. So Dennis Kim wants to earn 100 simoleons. I'm going to lock it in. I think that's a good one for him to want to do. He also wants to stay outside for 8 hours. Okay, maybe he wants to go to the pool. Maybe he wants to take his granddaughter to the park. Maybe he wants to take her fishing. Who knows? He wants to do something outside for 8 hours. Sure. He also has the successful lineage aspiration, which I think is fine. Obviously, I know that my elders probably are not going to get their aspirations, and that's just how it is. And he does not have a career, as you can see. So now looking at Eric Lewis, he wants to mix an excellent drink. Okay, maybe he wants to make, have a good drink with his dinner. And he also wants to listen to some different kinds of music. And this is the big one. He wants to woohoo with his wife. He also wants to be a mansion baron. I always look at that. And then I look at the jobs. So he wants to be he wants to be wealthy, but he doesn't have a job to back it. Now, how does that make any sense? So that means that I need to look at something else. I need to figure out what exactly would he like to do to make some money to become famous or to become wealthy. Well, he doesn't want a child right now, but that doesn't mean he doesn't want one down the line. So I'm going to go ahead and change to let time and fate decide when and if Eric is ever going to want another baby. I will do the same with Alice. When I do her turn, I will go into this. I will set with her the thoughts of having a baby as let time and fate decide. Now, right now, she's okay with having one or she's okay with not having one. It's not a big deal to her. And that's just that. She also wants to sell 3 paintings. And if you look at her aspiration, that makes a lot of sense because she's a painter extraordinaire. And it just makes sense. And she also wants to ask her husband about his day. I just think that's her wanting to be loving and caring about her significant other. And I appreciate that. So that is what I look at there. Now, I didn't look at his age. So they have 89 days until they age up. Again, I might change this eventually. Give me some time to kind of work out what kind of lifetime wish I would, or lifetime aspirate. Oh my goodness, lifespan, like time frame I would like to do, because I'm not quite sure yet. So I do think I need to like give it a second. And then let's check and see. The attractiveness seems to have finished, I do believe. So everyone's attractiveness has been set. So if we went in here and we looked at attractiveness and you can like, I thought you could see their attractiveness somewheres. But yeah, you can see through this who they find attractive and who they don't. So if we look in the profile for Eric Lewis, he's perceived for her as very attractive. It's based, I think, mainly off of like her romantic relationships. So if we look at, say, Vivian Lewis and look at Dennis, of course, he's unattractive for her. She doesn't find him attractive at all. And that's fine. I don't think that they should anyways, because their kids are married and that would be odd. So yeah, so he wants to be a mansion baron. Back to that conversation. So he doesn't want to have a baby right now. That's fine. But I have a mod that automatically selects the likes and dislikes. So if I go through here, he likes winter, holidays, music, and soul music. He dislikes the backyard music and the carnival beats. He also likes the hobbies of rocket science and cooking, but he dislikes nectar making and knitting. His conversation topics, there's some sim characteristics here. He likes the color black and brown, and he dislikes purple and white. He likes farmhouse decor, and he dislikes mid-century decor. And then he also likes the fashion of boho fashion, and he dislikes preppy fashion. So that's kind of like what Eric is all about. Now, that's not the only thing you need to look at. He also is a glutton. He's materialistic and he's self-assured. So if I was to pick a career for Eric to pursue, I would pick something that would fit all of those categories for him. Now, with him liking cooking, he could become a chef. With him liking, what was the other thing he liked? I can't even remember now. Rocket science. He could become an astronaut. He's self-assured, so he'll be very confident all the time. But I also kind of feel like someone who is mansion baron could do at-home work as well. Like they could do some kind of freelance, or they could maybe work crafting things at home. Who knows? So it's a little hard to decide exactly what Eric would be interested in because he doesn't have a full lowdown of exactly what he's interested in. He has a partial lowdown, and it makes it a little bit hard. So I feel like to choose a career for him, I would have to play him for a little while, kind of get the feel for what he's like trying to build up over here in his wants, and then go from there. So he doesn't have the wish even to make money yet. So I'm not even sure that getting him a job would be a good idea at this point. Anyways, he does have the wish to woo with his wife, and she does not, but that's okay. And then the daughter wants to listen to spooky music, and she also wants to watch some funny videos on sim.tv. She also is the artistic prodigy, and she is a C student in school. Now, she doesn't have any after-school activities, And she doesn't have to get any. I don't really think anyone does. But if you notice, nobody in this household has a career. But with her being a painter extraordinaire, I do think it is best that she goes into the painter career. So I will tell her to get a job, and I'm going to get her into the painter career. This is where you're going to spend a little bit of your time with the play on, but just try to limit it to as little as possible. You don't want to let the clock run too much because you have to get through all of the households today, or at least, hopefully, in one day. So she's entered into the painter career, and she's now a palette cleaner at 1,000 Words Art Gallery. She starts at Monday at 9 a.m. So she's at the very beginning of her career now. So at least somebody in the household is bringing in some income because, yeah, they're sitting on 54,000 simoleons, but I don't think it's appropriate for them not to have any kind of income in the house. I think that is really immature for them to just not have any jobs. So next, Olivia here, I just make sure that, she's got her homework in her inventory so that she can do it. And I also go into the house and I set up all the beds. So I'm going to set this bed here to Olivia. And then I'm going to set this bed here to Vivian. I just think this would be Vivian's bed, and that's who I think sleeps there. Then upstairs here, I believe this to be the master room. So I set the left side to Eric, and I set the right side to Alice. And then the only other person I have not set a bed for is Dennis Kim, and I would assume that Dennis would sleep here. So assign the right side of the bed to Dennis. Once that's done, and everyone has assigned themselves their beds, we have officially so far spent 8 minutes here. Gotta wait for these guys to finish up whatever they're doing. Gotta cancel out of this so that she can set her bed. Okay, so now what I do is I hover over each bed and make sure that it's right. So she hasn't set up her bed yet. And now if I hover over this, it says this is Olivia's bed. And this one here is Vivian's bed. And if we hover over this, it's Alice and Eric's bed. And this one is Dennis Kim's bed. So now if I was to visit these guys, the people would actually be sleeping in the proper beds. If you don't set that up, you're going to find that when you come to visit, if it gets late or whatever, the sim is tired, God only knows what's going on. Alice will be sleeping here, Eric will be sleeping here, Dennis will be sleeping downstairs. It'll be crazy. So if you set their beds this way, they're always sleeping in the same beds, no matter who's visiting, what time of day, they're always in the right beds. And that is the best thing to do. So after I do all of that, normally I would go into Build Buy and buy my water heater and my thermostat and all of that good stuff. Now, for the first round, I unfortunately am not going to be playing with those items because I want to, well, you know what? I probably will actually, but I'll do it in video because the thing is I want to upload all of the households to my save file. I want to upload them in the final state of like setting up the world, so that you guys, if you ever wanted to do this kind of a save file, you guys wouldn't have to worry about setting it up yourself. So I think the first thing that I would do for you guys is I would go in and, because I'm probably going to be going in and editing all the lots and everything eventually at some point, and then uploading them into this save file. There's a lot of things that I really, really want to do, but I kind of want to get started on this sooner rather than later. So the next thing I would do is I would come in here and I would look up a thermostat, if this is ever going to load. Come on. Okay, there we go. I wanted a thermostat. Okay, so I would grab this thermostat for each and every one of you and slap it up on the wall by the front door. It's the only place I really, really like to keep my thermostat, unless otherwise, you know, I need it someplace else. Eventually, we'll be adding all like the proper thermostats that I want to play with and all of that stuff. But for right now, I'm not going to add that. Now, I am going to be using a lot of packs for my my save file. I'm assuming if you don't have those things, it'll just replace it with something else. So no sweat. If you don't have things, feel free to still download it. You know, that's all up to you guys. So the first thing that I'm going to be placing for each and every household, of course, is a vacuum, because Bust a Dust is on. And I think it's realistic to keep it on because I just think that, you know, dust happens in real life. So why would I get rid of it in my game? That's just how I see it. This is the water heater we'll be using, and I will get more into that later. I could put this in everybody's lots, but it's so big and so bulky. Like, I really hate it. Look how big that is. Like, this is so huge. It could have been downsized tenfold, okay? Seriously. So I probably won't put this in because I don't personally want to play with this one. If you want to go in and put it in for yourself, feel free. I am, though, going to put the electrical fuse box in because I think it's fitting that they would have an electrical fuse box. This is from For Rent, and it can go bad. You can place on any residence as well, or a rental lot or whatever, to provide electricity to everybody, but it can go bad, and then the electricity can go out. So it can, like, you know, it's a little bit more realistic. Now this here, if you place this down, it'll provide warm water for all of the people to enjoy, or you can just, you know, not place it. This one here is the one that I like to place. It's a one tile one. It's a mod though, and I like to place this one, and that's the one that I personally play with, and it's the one that I'll be showing you guys when I'm playing through. We'll be using that. The next thing that I go through and I do is, if my Sims are wealthy, if I'm playing for myself or whatever, I use another mod called, it's from the Plum Bros whole entire like set thing. The condenser unit, if they have, again, more than 20,000, they will get the condenser unit. Or no, it's not based off of that. It's based off of this. I will show you. So I have another mod that tells me if my Sims are middle class, lower class, upper class, wealthy, I believe, and poor. So these guys are middle class. So I would consider that middle class would be the household that would get the wall unit. If they're poor, they only are able to get radiators like these from For Rent, the iron ones, and I get the chipped ones if they're poor. If they are lower class, they get the not chipped ones, and that's it. If they are middle class, like we are here, they get these ones. And they also are able to get a wall AC. Let me see if I can find it. This from For Rent. And yeah, so they get this one. If they are upper class or wealthy, whatever it's called, then they get to get the condenser unit. And then with that, they get little vents that go on the walls that keeps the house nice and cool or nice and warm or whatever. Yes, so that is kind of what I do. So these guys are middle class. So what I will do is I will show you what I'm going to do here. I am going to go ahead and grab. So there's different colors that you can choose from. Just know that this thing does protrude through the wall on the inside, and it also shows up on the outside. So I'm thinking that it's okay for us to put it right here at the front of the house. I actually probably should put it lower so they can reach it if they need to. So you can see this is the vent. This is the only AC unit that they're going to get. And then every big room will get one of these radiators. So I am going to put one here. I do not put them in bathrooms. That is not one of the rooms that I consider to be a high priority. So I don't put them in them. I put them in bedrooms. And any other like living quarters really are where I'll put them. So like hers, I am actually going to move hers because it kind of slipped into the wall. So hers there. And then we're going to do Vivian's here. And then we're going to do one in their bedroom up here. I'll put it right here. And we are going to do one here for Dennis. And then I'm thinking, let's go ahead and slap one more because this is like the study room here. Now, what I need to do is I need to go out of here and you have to sync with thermostat. So you have to click each and every one of these and sync with thermostat. Just like this. And this is all from the For Rent pack. I am not using any mods to sync these or anything else. This is all part of the game now with the For Rent pack. So if you don't have that, of course, this isn't going to work for you. But if you do have it, this is going to be your best friend. And also don't forget to sync your thermostat as well with the For Rent wall unit. So yes, and then you come over here and you just set this. Now we need to enable the HVAC gameplay in the entire save. I'm going to hold off on that because you guys won't have that mod. This is part of the For Rent stuff. So you guys will, when I swap this over, I will enable that on the first household that I play. Whenever I swap that over. So that is all taken care of. Now they have AC and they have a little bit of heating to go throughout the house, which is good because we are starting off in spring, of course, day 1 of 28, and it is very cool outside. So that's pretty much that. Now, the next thing I would do if I wasn't uploading this, of course, is I would go onto each sim and I would shift click on them. I would add a hobby to them, because I think that that is something that's fun. And then I would get them right into a club. I would create my clubs and get all my clubs going. I am going to upload a second version of this, but it will be with the mods that I'm talking about. So if you're going to want to hold off for that second one, you'll have to hold off until the first rotation is completed for the Mega Hood. So yeah, I think I've covered every little orifice of this household. They've just got the AC and the heaters to go throughout the house. We got the little thermostat to turn on and off the heat or on and off the AC. And then we also have the vacuum to dust up or to vacuum the dust. We got the power electrical fuse box back here. And I do lock in whims for them, of course. Like hers has changed all of a sudden, which is random. She must have done something. These might not be locked in for you guys when you come back to the household. Some of them will, some of them won't. It all depends on kind of what they are. Though a lot of the ones that are like this one probably will be because she has to get 4,000 points to buy that from the reward store. But if they have something like, I don't know, make money. He might make money while we're not playing them. So who knows? Also like dance or listen to soul music probably won't be here. The woohoo might not be here. It really just honestly depends of what the Sims do while you're gone. And yeah, so I go through and I do this for every single household, making sure I tick off my little boxes, making sure that I get every little thing. And then that after I do all of this for every last household that is in the My Households tab, and everybody has a dark green plumb bob, that's when I go through and I decide my play order. So on my personal one, I'm playing them A through Z. I might flip it around and play them Z through A, just to be a little bit different for this playthrough, which would be interesting because I haven't even played the Spencer Kim Lewis household yet in my game. But I feel like it would be about the same amount of time. And then I just choose however many days I'm going to play them, and I keep it on a spreadsheet, and I just write down like who the Sims are. I am going to be talking in another episode about how I choose hobbies. Well, I've already showed that, but like how I choose their sub hobbies, and then also when my Sims age, how I choose lifetime aspirations for them. So if any of you guys are interested in any of that, definitely make sure you check out my couple of videos that I have coming up for that. But yeah, this is how I set up I'm going to be setting up my whole entire save file to start playing it. And going through all of that. I'm going to leave them as is for the first save file upload. I'm just going to go into each and every household, and I'm going to select them and do kind of what I did here. And I didn't use any CC to do any of this. I just used my packs that I already have in my game. So like this comes with seasons. This is Busted Dust. This is from For Rent, of course. And this is also from For Rent. I don't think I added anything else. I just literally loaded them in and locked in their wants pretty much. And that was it. I would also at this point go through and write down all of their information on a spreadsheet. I will already have mine from my personal save. So I'm just going to copy and paste that over to a new spreadsheet for myself. So I'm not going to worry about going through and uploading all of that information or whatever. I'm just going to pull the same information and then edit it as need be for my LP version. But yeah, I hope this helped all any of you who have ever wanted to start up a Mega Hood or an Uber Hood or a rotational play in The Sims 4. This is going to be your best way to do it. Feel free to leave any comments down below if you have any questions or any questions about any of the mods that I'm going to be using or anything like that. And if you are a member of my channel, please don't forget to check out the sub channel on my Discord. If you need an invite to it, I can invite you to it. Of course, I will check and make sure that you are obviously a member or a sub on my Twitch channel, or Patreon as well. If you're a Patreon then you also qualify. So any one of those three things, and you'll be invited into the sub channel because you will be considered a sub to my channel, which means you can have your household that you create in my save file, and the little code that you can use to upload to will be in my Discord in the sub channel as well. So only the sub members can see it, and that's how it's meant to be. And if you want to find out what it is, you'll have to join as a member or a sub. So anyways, I just want to thank you guys so much for checking this out. If you guys were interested in seeing how I do it or what I do, I really appreciate each and every one of you checking this out, and leave a comment down below who wants to try a rotational game. If this is something that you're interested in, or if you'd rather just wait for me to set up the save file for you and upload it so that you can download it yourself, let me know. I'm really excited to hear what everyone has to say, and I will talk to you guys in my very next one. Thanks very much for watching.